Well, teacher, in this opportunity, the problem is of the conversation is, and the young people working extra hours without pay. Okay, and the first question for you is this a problem that you think important, and why?
Yeah, well, I think that when a person leaves the university or finishes university or any kind of institution that is teaching a special training, yeah, they actually ask for extra practices, no? And well, it depends on the context. I think if the kind of work that the person is doing is something simple, I think it's okay to work without payment, depending on the kind of hours that you work and the type of work that you are doing. But if the work implies more responsibility, if the work implies probably more working time, more working hours, and especially more responsibility, right, in which you are implied on that. So I think that there should be a kind of remuneration or payment, no?
Yes, teacher, you have a good
Mhm.
point. For example, do you think others or the rest of the society believe this situation is important problem, not is, and why?
Yeah, well, I think that the society knows that when a person finishes their studies, they start gaining experience, no? And I think that they have like an underestimating position because not most of the people try to encourage laws, for example, to the candidates when they want to go to the Congress to reinforce a law, a formal law in which the bachelors is the name. The bachelors need to get some payment for their practices. There was a law some years ago. I don't know if you remember about pulpines, no? So in
Uh,
which there was a cut in the rights of the practitioners, no? And well, it was actually unfair policy from my point of view because in reality, some institutions take into consideration that the practitioners should get that payment, no? And there are other institutions who think that no, depending on the kind of work they do, it is not necessary. But there are many companies that in reality pay their practitioners for the practices that they do and the kind of professional work they do, because in reality what they do is a professional work. Now, for example, a teacher who is a bachelor goes to an institution and works for free with a lot of responsibility and without payment. That might be unfair, no? But in reality there are institutions that probably are more formal than others that consider a formal payment with formal rights in to the laborers who are the people, not the practitioners or the bachelors from universities or institutes. Mhm.
okay, teacher. I in this case I have a little question because I listen in more people in my family, for example, the phrase "you get what you earn." It's necessary to suffer. What do you think about this phrase?
Yeah, well, I think, well, yeah, actually, one person gets what you want to have, and according to your own effort, is what you are going to have in the future, right? So I think it's okay, but I think that's like an ambiguous concept
Sorry, for
because right, it is important. I don't know, but I think I learned from someone, or I don't know if it was from a web page or anyway. Work smart, not hard. So I think it's good, no? So if you are smart on working, I think it's okay. So you don't have to suffer that much. And it depends on the kind of activity that you develop, So I don't know. There are certain professionals who have probably more hazardous jobs than others. But I think that we can apply that saying, work smart, not hard. And if you apply that, probably that phrase from from older people or from like traditional people can be a bit underestimated.
Yeah, we have a little problem with this idea. And example, in the case of we have a policy. What policy, if any, does government now here to deal with this problem?
Yeah. Well, actually, we do not have any kind of policies in the government that encourage, for example, that the bachelors uh, have a formal uh, practices when they leave universities. We do not have actually, but I've listened that there's someone probably in the Congress that was working on reinforcing the laws for labor, but it was not exactly for practitioners or for people who are leaving universities. No, in general, it's for work. But probably in the future, with after this social convulsion we are living, probably some of them are going to have that initiative, and they can have well that idea of including in their agenda well payment for people who have to work probably well payment is good, no payment is good, probably not for a big salary for a bachelor, but it encourages to do a better job, well, and to be more enthusiastic with kind of activities that you develop in the company that you are going to work or you work.
Okay, I understand you. The final question is if you create any policy, any, okay, for this problem, what are advantage and this policy?
Yeah, well, I think that if, for example, if I were a congressman, I would create a law like that. Let's suppose that I have created and they passed my law. Well, the greatest advantage is that probably we are going to encourage formal labor, formal jobs in any sense, right? But the greatest disadvantage that we are going to have is that, Peru has the highest rate of informal jobs in the world, probably next to China, India, or countries like that. And these kind of laws probably are not going to be so beneficial or that beneficial for small companies who their, for example, their quality, the quality of their product is low, is good, So why not? We say, for example, a person or a business family, a small family business, they have some employees, but they don't pay well. The normal things that any employee should have, like vacation for work, facility days, vacation period of time. So they are not going to pay that. Why not? Because the business is small, right? So that's probably the greatest disadvantage. And it is because our country has more the 86%, it's high, of informal employment. So probably this is going to be beneficial only for that practitioners and people who are going to work for free for big companies, but not for those who are going to work for a small company, no? So those who are not going to be happy with this kind of decision or law are that 86% of employers, right? So that's the greatest disadvantage. But well, first of all, before doing laws like that, maybe we should think of, for example, formalizing the work, improving the product. That when the product is good, the price soars a little bit, and there is more competition. And when there's more competition, it encourages to be or to have better production and also exportation. Also, we become more exporters. So I think that our economy is going to improve more than that, right? So before making laws, probably we need to improve the rate of formality in employment in our country.
Yeah, the informal is spectacular problem.
Yeah, absolutely, because so just 15% or less than 20% companies in Peru are formal, and probably those companies are those who pay their the employees in any sense. If you ask for free work, they are going to pay for something. Probably not like their real employees, but a remuneration that is considered important, no? For someone who is starting to work. But that 86%, so it is difficult because it is just a kind of job for survival, and working for survival is not that formal as we would like to have, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, Lorena. Okay, I will continue. I will continue with the interview, dear teacher. How might the policy be improved? Can you answer my question, please?
Would you like to repeat that question?
How might the policy be improved? About what you talk about.
So I understood like how much that policy would improve,
Be
something like
improved.
that.
Yes. How
Yeah.
how might the policy be improved?
Oh, how might our policies in Peru should be, well, how can they be improved? Well, I think that, that every law that has to be worked in Peru goes through the Congress, and the Congress people are the main responsible of taking into consideration that now they have different commissions. They have different commissions, probably the Commission of Economy and Labor, probably they can work that and focus more on improving working policies and improving that kind of, how to say it, the kind of living that the people need to have in our country, no?
Mhm. Okay, teacher. Does it need to be replaced? What do you think and why?
Mm, well, uh, Peru has a constitution. That constitution has different laws, and yeah, of course, it depends actually mainly on the government. So there are laws that are very well implanted, but sometimes we don't take care of them, or maybe, but no, we know as citizens, no, but they know. So, for example, we have a law against crime, but they don't respect the law. So, so criminals they do their actions and they just go to the police office for a moment and then they are free. So, and I think that the same happens in every kind of context in any kind of laws, right? So we have laws probably, but that they need necessarily to check to review because there's a great amount of laws that we as citizens don't know if they are being checked every time that they have their sessions or maybe their meetings. No, in Congress, as we have observed in these last 2 years, that are going to be more than 5 or 6 years, they have only one focus on being removing the president, removing the Congress, removing everything, changing everything, and I think they don't focus on the most important aspects because of their own interests, and well, that's politics, but that's a little well, sad speaking about that, right?
Okay, teacher. What is agreement about this policy, if any, exists in our community? What do you think?
What can you repeat the last part? What disagreement?
Yes. What is agreement about this policy, if any, exists in our community? What do you think?
Well, as I have mentioned before, I disagree with not taking into consideration the laws that we have, no? Because, we have laws for labor, but sometimes because of the formality, the highest amount, the high amount of informality in our country, well, the laws cannot be implanted, because it's like a suicide. If let's suppose that the government implants the policy about labor, so that 86% of informality is going to drop. So the government doesn't want that small business drop or quit. They want the small business continue to work. But my greatest disagreement should be that they implant laws or they have laws, but they don't formalize the market, they don't formalize the economy, right? So they encourage, on the one hand, they encourage informality, but on the other hand, they have laws against informality, which is something um, complicated to understand, no?
Okay, thank teacher. It is the last question. When can I get more information about this problem and the different position people take on the problem? What do you think we can get more information?
Well, we have different ministries, and I think that the ministry that can really help with this probably could be the Ministry of Labor, which in Spanish should be Ministerio del Trabajo, right? Or probably SUNAFIL. I think that SUNAFIL is the organism that has more responsibility on this, even because SUNAFIL comes from the Ministry of Labor. So SUNAFIL is the special entity that knows everything about this kind of laws in labor, about labor, I'm sorry, and remunerations, working hours, and they actually have probably where the office is, I don't remember exactly, but Cajamarca has an office about SUNAFIL, no? Which SUNAFIL plays an important role on this.
Okay, that's all, teacher. Thank you so much for your time, because it was necessary to obtain your information, and it is will help us to improve our English, and about the interview forms that the other teacher told us about that we have to do.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
I hope it has been useful.